Neuroscientist Edward Taub and his colleagues are teaching stroke survivors from all over the country how to revive the stricken part of their brains many years after a stroke.
Let it go. Let it go.
Extend that finger on out, yeah. Good job. There are little spacings in here for each individual finger, so you're going to have to push your hand all the way in.
Taub's innovative therapy requires Kent to immobilize his good hand.
Oh, let's do this again.
What it boils down to is that you can't use the good one. So you got to use the bad hand.
Okay, you ready to place your hand up on the table?
Yeah.
Kent had written off his left hand as useless. Now he will discover just how much he can do with it because of the resilience of his brain. During the past 3 years, many of the injured neurons have recovered. But most have been recruited by neighboring brain circuits, responsible for moving parts of Kent's body unaffected by the stroke.
Yeah.
If Kent works hard enough, he can force his recovered neurons to resume their old job and send signals to his left arm once again. But first, he has to overcome a dependence on his right arm that's become deeply encoded in his brain.
The person could use the arm if he really tried, but he just never tries. He doesn't try because he's learned not to try. It's a conditioned response. But it goes on week after week, month after month, and as time goes on, it becomes more and more powerful, and eventually it becomes overwhelmingly powerful. And so you've got to counter-condition this extremely strong tendency not to use the arm.
I want you to see how many of these dominoes you can flip over in 30 seconds. The key is to not just pick them up and drop them, but to actually use your fingers and maneuver the domino. I know you have the ability. And that's what I'm here to do, to push you to do the right thing. Okay, let's go.
You starting the timer?
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh. Try it again.
That one was 2.
That's okay. This last one you just did here, we don't want that. Better,
Ooh,
that's great. Those fingers are working.
Yeah.
What makes Taub's therapy so effective and so exhausting is that these small, clumsy movements have to be endlessly repeated.
Nice.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Over the next 2 weeks, Kent will flip hundreds of dominoes.
The human brain is an enormously plastic instrument. The amount of area of the brain that is involved in producing movements or receiving sensation keeps changing continuously based on the amount of use that part of the body gets. And it turns out that no matter how old a person becomes, no matter how aged the brain is, that plasticity remains undiminished.
Taub has found that after just 2 weeks of therapy, the part of the brain that controls the crippled limb has expanded back to its original size. Just why is still a mystery.
In introductory psychology courses, when I first went to school, they used to say some people think of the brain as a muscle, and that was invariably followed by the professor laughing and saying the brain isn't the muscle. Well, the fact of the matter is that in the last 15 years, what we've begun to find is that, in a sense, the brain is like a muscle, and the more that you exercise it, the better it gets.
Are those good French fries?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Okay.
After 2 weeks of therapy, Kent Miller is eating with his left hand
Good.
for the first time in years.
Break my neck getting to it, though.
Good, good. That's good. Good bite.
I know I'm a lot farther along than I was, because I really wouldn't use my left hand.
When your hand gets tired, stop, let it rest.
It was so much easier to use the right, which worked normal.
Finger open.
And now it's almost natural for me to use it at times, the left side.